Hello, this is Goku-san DBZ, and welcome back. Next video will be top 10 since this is Sunday, but I was requested recently, actually on Twitter as well as on Google+, if I could show, since they know I've talked about like me over time building up my movie collection and stuff, they wanted to know and to show my current Blu-ray collection, so I'm not sure how long this video is going to take. Before I start, please give me a thumbs up to this video, like, subscribe, follow me at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ. And yeah, there's going to be some movies and stuff that I don't have. I have on regular DVD, not Blu-ray. I'm still working on my Blu-ray collection. I don't have as massive as, say, somebody like Chris Stuckman, but I'm trying to work on it. First, I'm going to be showing some TV show stuff before I show actual movie stuff, just so you know. Okay. First up is actually some stuff I just started collecting, anime-wise. Now, there's actually two sets I have on Blu-ray that I lost the cases for, so I can't show. And that's Season 1 and Season 2 of an anime called, Spice and Wolf. Now, this is the first. I still need to get set number 2. This is for the second series of Last Exile, which is actually not bad so far, I will say. I like it. It's pretty good so far from what I've seen. And the only one so far I've collected, like, complete season of other than that, is Seasons 1 and 2 of course, Attack on Titan, which is an incredible anime series, seriously. I found both of these box sets at Walmart for $25 a piece, and trust me when I see, that's a bargain for Blu-ray. Especially such a really popular and big deal Blu-ray on top of it. Well, anime. Next is, I have is Seasons 1 through 3 of the TV show called Vikings. And I do like the boxes that these particular ones come in. It's really cool. And they did the same thing for also Season 2. Well, a little different box style, but still really nice. And I do like, this is probably one of easily my favorite series. And it's hard to believe History Channel does it. It looks like some from HBO. Next, I have right now only Seasons 5 through 7 is True Blood. Now this one's a little bigger because it also includes a regular DVD copy with the Blu-ray copy. And I'll actually have to go and pick up some of the others I actually still have over there. Of course, we have here Season 10, Season 9, Season 4. Those are the only 3 seasons I have on Blu-ray. Next we have a special debut, of course, for the 12th Doctor of Doctor Who. Also, we have here Season number 8. Now, I still need to get Season number 9. I know, or Series 9 as they like to call it over in England. This is a special collection of Doctor Who. This is called the David Tennant Special Collection. The last special, which is like 4 or 5 specials total. And it's a really great deal. You can find a good deal on Amazon for this collection. Trust me, it's worth it. And the last Blu-ray collection I have of Doctor Who, it is 3 years, 3 seasons, a 1 box set plus the specials. This is called the Matt Smith years, of course, of the 11th Doctor, and even open it up, it has an awesome cover here where it's all written in Gallifreyan, of course, the language of the Doctors. And it is just awesome. Trust me, if you get the opportunity or chance to get the Matt Smith, get it. Trust me, it's worth it. It is an amazing collection, and it's got beautiful box art, and I can't say anything negative about it. Now I'm going to get some more stuff. So just know that. Just trying to make sure that my camera doesn't stop recording. Okay. And here is the rest of the TV show collection that I have. It's only so far purchased because I kind of got out of it. But this is Season 1 of course, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is actually pretty good, I will say. Season 1, I knew I'd get Season 2 and Agent Carter. Now, currently, I only have Season 3 of Arrow on Blu-ray. I need to go back and get Seasons 1 and 2 also on Blu-ray, eventually. Also, I have Season 1 of The Flash, of course. And this is some I got a couple years back on Cyber Monday on Amazon. They have a special. It is the definitive collection of, hands down, my favorite sci-fi series of all time, Farscape. And it has all 4 seasons on Blu-ray. And trust me when I say I got this for about 50% off the original asking price for it. That is a bargain in itself, especially such a great series, getting all of the show. Now, unfortunately, it does not include, however, the special movie that actually ends the saga of Farscape, which is called The Peacekeeper Wars. Next up, now I need to get Seasons 1 and 2 of Game of Thrones on Blu-ray. I currently only have on regular DVD. Season 3 of Game of Thrones. Season 4. And hands down my favorite covers so far. Season 5. Which also includes this, the special making of the season. Season 1 of Gotham, which is right now easily one of my top 2 favorite comic book based shows, because I like it's based in more reality. I'm missing Season 1 for Blu-ray. Season 2 of Grimm, great show. Based on whether or not the Grimm fairy tales would have happened in real life. Season 3 and Season 4. And I only had Seasons 1 through 4 because after 4 I lost interest in the show, The Walking Dead. And the only reason why I ended up checking this out in the first place is because the first season somebody didn't want, so they basically gave me the first season for free on Blu-ray. That's insane. Season 2, Season 3, and the 4th season. And that's all I have on Blu-ray of that. Now I'm just putting some of this back quickly, just to get out of the way so I have space to maneuver around. There. Now I can move around a little bit easier over here. Sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to be showing some of my regular movies and stuff. Now, some of these movies people may not like, but keep in mind these are my own personal movies. So, you have to keep that in mind. First, I'll be showing some animated stuff. Some people I know are not going to like some of my movies, but oh well. First up, my anime films, Frozen. Yes, I admit, I like Frozen. I think it started becoming overrated, but it's a really great film for the most part. Great, pretty good music numbers, one of the best films they've done in quite a long time. Aladdin, of course. Beauty and the Beast, which is an incredible film. I can't wait for the live action movie. The Little Mermaid. Inside Out. Batman. Bad Blood. Justice League versus Teen Titans. I have a special collection. This is all 3 Lion King movies. It includes 3 versions of the original Lion King. DVD, Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray. Then Lion King 2 Simba's Pride, DVD, Blu-ray. Then you've got Lion King 1.5, DVD, Blu-ray. Plus you get so total you're getting, plus you get a special features thing. And you open it up, it comes in a drum style case, which is awesome. And here you have the case, which comes in a special Velcro thing, which is just awesome. This was when it was released for the first time on Blu-ray, and I couldn't resist because I'm a huge Lion King fan. Always have been, always will be. Easily my favorite anime and musical of all time. Well, at least from Disney anyways. Next up is a couple of anime movies. Now, I only have the Japanese dub version of this, and that is Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods. Now, I don't have the English dub version. I actually ordered this about a year before it was released in English dub over here in America. I ordered this straight from Japan. And it is a fun film. I will eventually get it English dub, of course. Also, of course, English dub, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F with Gold Frieza. And trust me when I say I very much enjoyed this. I actually probably enjoyed this more than Battle of the Gods, to be fair. Next are my first and currently only Miyazaki Studio Ghibli films I have on Blu-ray. The Wind Rises, which is actually a really good film of some more classics. Castle in the Sky. Kiki's Delivery Service. Princess Mononoke. And that's it for the anime films. Now for some of the live action stuff. First we have here The Wizard of Oz. True all-time classic film. And some people like it, some people hate it, but I personally enjoyed it, from Sam Raimi. Oz the Great and Powerful. And I personally really like this cover with the Wicked Witch. Yeah, she didn't end up as good as I had hoped, but still enjoyable. Special double feature. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone with Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Another double feature. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and the Gauntlet of Fire. Next we have Harry Potter and, of course, Order of the Phoenix. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. And, of course, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I love that 3D thing. Next, this is what I might consider a guilty pleasure film I enjoy. Tim Burton starring Johnny Depp, Dark Shadows. Yes, I actually rather enjoyed this movie. All of us have our guilty pleasures, and this is actually one of the first horror films I added to my collection. Insidious Chapter 3. Such an amazing film. Eventually I will begin the first and Chapter 2. Definitely, because I love those movies. This was a special limited edition version of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, which included a special booklet built into the case, actually, which is really awesome. Getting to see all the different information stuff about Middle-earth. The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. This is a double feature. Hunger Games and Hunger Games Catching Fire. Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, which I actually really enjoyed this. It just depends on the person. There are those movies that are very divisive and very divided, where you love it or you hate it. This is considered the prime joy to my collection, because it's my favorite movie trilogy of all time, hands down, even better than Star Wars as far as I'm concerned. And I know that's blasphemy. The extended edition trilogy of Lord of the Rings in this beautiful gold case, and with even the map of Middle-earth on the box. But this is worth every penny because of all the special. I think this is the only way to really watch the movies, even if it's adding like an additional 2 hours of footage to the trilogy as a whole. Trust me when I say it's worth every penny to get this. With all the extra bonus material plus all the making, you get 2 DVD Blu-rays for each movie of behind the scenes. You're talking probably 100+ hours of behind the scenes footage, and I'm one of those people that loves that kind of stuff. Next up is the original, of course, from 1999 Mummy movie, which I love this movie to death, pun intended. Next up, The Mummy Returns. 2 incredible films, and it's too bad the main star that he's basically disappeared over the years, which is a shame. And of course this will be the debut for The Rock. And maybe considered a guilty pleasure. Basically one of the only video game based live action movies I can honestly say, probably the only one in my Blu-ray collection, is the original Tomb Raider, with of course Angelina Jolie, which does an awesome job as Lara Croft. Next up, Sherlock Holmes, with of course starring Robert Downey Jr. and Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. 2 incredible films. And hands down, I think such an incredible film that deserved to win Best Picture last year. Ex Machina. This is such an incredible science fiction film. If you ever get the chance to watch Ex Machina, you need to jump at the chance. It's probably one of the best science fiction movies I've personally seen ever. I might even now put in my top 10 favorite sci-fi movies of all time. It's movies like that is why more people need to check out indie films. Next up, Gladiator. Such an incredible piece of art. I think perhaps one of the greatest movies of all time. Definitely a modern masterpiece. The Matrix trilogy. Though, I actually somewhat enjoyed some of the stuff in Matrix Reloaded, but I'd rather forget about the last Matrix film. But the first one, true amazing piece of film. This is another divisive film some people like and don't, but I personally really enjoyed it. Prometheus. And I also got this back a few years ago on Black Friday for $4. So, hey, $4 for Blu-ray, you're not really going to knock that off. Gain that. Next up, probably my favorite live-action interpretation video game movie thus far. With Warcraft just behind it. Silent Hill. This is truly an incredible film, and it's sad it doesn't get the praise it deserves. And I understand On the next one, Silent Hill Revelations. Revelation. Why some people don't like it, but I still like it. Yeah, it's not nearly as good as this, but it's still a whole heck of a lot better than the Resident Evil movies, I'll say that. Which you won't see that in my collection. Next up, probably my favorite in the franchise, Underworld: Rise of the Lycan. This was actually one of the first 5 movies that became part of my actually Blu-ray collection. This was easily one of my very first films I added. And I really enjoyed this film. Next is a special trilogy pack. Gremlins, Gremlins 2, and The Goonies. Definitely a great collection. Then we have another collection. The modern Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, and the original Clash of the Titans triple pack. Here's the rest of them. Next up is another great indie film called The Witch. It's a really good horror suspense film, though it's not as much horror. It has a lot of dramatic elements with elements of horror in it, but it's not an overall horror film, so don't expect it if you see it. But it's a great piece of art. It's such a great time period piece because they pay really close attention to the details, the way the people spoke at that time frame. You know, for instance, look at the King James Bible. That tells you how they spoke in that time period. Next up, a true classic from Arnold Schwarzenegger, the original Total Recall. One of the best, easily probably one of the 3 best movies Arnold Schwarzenegger has ever done. At least as far as I'm concerned, along with Judgment Day and a few others. Another great modern day piece, The Departed. One of the best movie casts of all time, and such an incredible, dramatic film. Real piece of art. Now this is a guilty pleasure movie of mine. Legion. Hey, I'll be the first to admit it's not a good film, not at all, but that's why it's called a guilty pleasure. Another guilty pleasure film, probably my favorite slasher film of the 90s. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Why is it such high for me personally? Because of the soundtrack. Freaking sakes, the movie opens up with that great song called Summer Breeze, done by the awesome goth band of the 80s and 90s called Typo Negative. Awesome song. Next up is another classic modern film, the original Highlander from the 80s. This is such a great film. It spawned one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Highlander, with, of course, Duncan MacLeod. But this is another family member of his, Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. There can be only one. Next is another classic from Ridley Scott, Alien. Just like Prometheus, another Ridley Scott film. I love Alien. A lot of people I know personally prefer James Cameron's movie Aliens, but I still prefer this. It's more of a horror film with elements of sci-fi. The sequel is more sci-fi with elements of horror, if you look at the overall film. And here's probably another one some people would consider a guilty pleasure, and yes, I do like it. Terminator Genesis, or Genesis as, of course, Mr. John Schnipp calls it, but I actually enjoy this film, and it's called a guilty pleasure for a reason. And of course we have our dear Mother of Dragons playing Sarah Connor in this film. And, oh yeah, a little surprising piece of info you may not know. The one who played actually Sarah Connor in the Sarah Chronicles miniseries was the one who plays Cersei Lannister, also in Game of Thrones. So a little piece of trivia you might find interesting. Next up is the 2 of the reboot Star Trek by J.J. Abrams and Star Trek Into Darkness, which I love these films. I like these more, honestly, than the originals, and I know some hardcore old school Trekkies are going to dislike me for that, but hey, my dad is the same way. He's an old school Trekkie. The awesome prequels, Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. 2 incredible films. Now, this is an interesting airplane type suspense movie you may or may never have heard of called Mark. It's an interesting film, I will say that. It was given to me actually by a friend. Next up is another film based on the mythology, of course, the Stone and King Arthur, and it's called The Last Legion. It's an interesting film. Another one that I personally actually really liked, is another time period piece called The Eagle, about Romans going to get something that was stolen by barbarians in England. Early Britain in those days, of course. Next, Snow White and the Huntsman. Yes, I actually like this, and no, I did not like the sequel, Snow White Winter's War. It was not good at all compared to that. Another, I think, thing that should be known for being such a great film, Lincoln. Such an incredible piece of art this movie was. Easily one of my favorite films by Spielberg. Definitely in the last, say, 15-20 years. Easily one of my top 3 favorites. Such a well-done piece of art. And the sequel I think most of us have been waiting for, Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt. Next up, from Christopher Nolan, Interstellar, featuring Matthew McConaughey, which is actually a really good science fiction, and another Christopher Nolan film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Inception, which I praise this movie for really making you have to think a lot. That's one thing I like about Nolan films. They tend to have to make you think. And the original Independence Day, which did not have a sequel. Resurgence never happened. Let's just pretend that doesn't exist, okay? Next up, another incredible film, Creed, which takes part in, of course, the same universe as Rocky, of course, where Rocky is now the mentor figure. And, of course, we have Apollo Creed's son, Creed. And this is a great film, and this really shows the potential and how big a star, I think, hands down, that Michael B. Jordan is going to become. This movie really has Michael B. Jordan shine, and is perhaps one of the best acting jobs I've ever seen from Sylvester Stallone. He deserved that nomination for Best Supporting Actor, because he was great in this film. Seriously, if you've not watched Creed, you need to seriously check it out. And another film that's considered somewhat divisive, some people like, some people don't, 007, Spectre. And yeah, this is a somewhat divided film. It's pretty much either you love it or you hate it type Bond film, which you don't always hate. But I personally enjoyed it, but it depends on... And you have to watch some of the older movies to get some of the references in the film. Next, pretty much one everyone loved and praised, Skyfall. Probably my number 2 favorite Bond film of all time. My number 1 is actually the very first Bond film I ever watched. And interestingly enough, it was a Pierce Brosnan film, GoldenEye. And it would also be the very first film I ever saw Sean Bean die in, LOL. Next is a live-action new interpretation to, of course, the classic Sleeping Beauty, and that is Maleficent, starring Angelina Jolie, which I'm a big fan, and I thought she did great, and the special effects in this movie were superb. I'm not always a special effects person, but yeah. Now, this film, this got me because of nostalgia factor, and given at the very end, R.L. Stine actually does a very short, brief cameo as a teacher at the school, which is awesome. And I love Jack Black in this. I mean, seriously, he was awesome as R.L. Stine. I enjoyed it. Some of the CG could have been better, but it was still a really fun, enjoyable film. It was a really good, like, comedy horror type film. Not really a lot of overall horror, but there were little elements given for more family-friendly viewing audience. Next are going to be actually some special films. And these are going to be my favorite comic book movies. I'm going backwards right now. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Such an incredible film. Double feature, Hellboy and Ghost Rider. Yes, The first Ghost Rider is a guilty pleasure of mine, I know. Another guilty pleasure, sadly. All of us have our guilty pleasures. Green Lantern. Hey, it was like $5 when I picked it up, so, yeah, not a bad deal. And we have Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Yes, it was very cheesy and campy, but I liked it. At least compared to the new Craptastic Four, which makes this look like a masterpiece. Next up, we have the awesome, of course, new film from this year. Easily, right now, my top 3 favorite movies of the year. Deadpool, which Ryan Reynolds was amazing in. Captain America, Civil War. Winter Soldier. Sorry. Captain America, The First Avenger, which is a great film in its own right. Next we have the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I'm just trying to put some of these to the side while I do this. And a 4-pack with Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and let's just forget about Batman and Robin. A triple pack with all 3 Blade movies. Blade Trinity is questionable, but I still enjoyed some elements of it. And of course, next we have The Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, which I actually enjoyed more than the first Avengers. Keep in mind, it's based on a person-by-person basis. So your opinions on some movies. Next up we have Ant-Man, another incredible film. We have a special trilogy pack here. V for Vendetta, Watchmen, and Constantine, which are all really good films. And last is a special 5-movie collection, which includes The Punch-Out with John Travolta, The Crow, Kick-Ass, Sin City, and The Spirit, which are a very interesting, diverse collection of comic book films, I will say. Next we have Guardians of the Galaxy, which is hands down my favorite. I've seen this movie 17 times now. Yeah, a little obsessed, I know. Then we have the Iron Man trilogy, which is a great collection, I will say. Though Iron Man 2 kind of had a lot to be desired overall. Just depends on your taste and stuff. Next we have another guilty pleasure, Spawn. Then a special trilogy pack with easily my 3 favorite Superman movies. Superman, Superman 2, and Superman Returns. Yes, I know, some people may debate and say Man of Steel is better. Guess what? I think Superman Returns is better than Man of Steel. But that's my own opinion. Next we have the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man films, which of course the third one, let's just say, was not the best Spider-Man film, especially after what they did to Venom. Next we have The Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. And of course you see in the background here, I like Amazing Spider-Man 2. Though I still think, hands down, Amazing Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man movie to date. Easily. And next up we have Thor and Thor the Dark World, which are, of course, I still think that the original Thor is one of the 3 best origin story movies yet from the MCU. Next we have the Wolverine and X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yes, I know. You can hate me, but I like to put together complete collections. And to have the complete X-Men Universe collection, it even includes owning this. Next, I recently got this, which is a special re-release of the original X-Men trilogy. And yes, I'll just skip watching the 3rd X-Men film. And next we have X-Men First Class, which is still my favorite and tied for being my favorite comic book movie of all time. And X-Men Days of Future Past. which are both also incredible films in their own right. And last but not least, we have Star Wars, of course, would be last. Special limited edition tins. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Episode 4, A New Hope. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And that is my Blu-ray movie collection. Leave a comment below, tell me what your personal favorites are in your Blu-ray collection. And just leave me a comment, tell me what you think of any of the movies I've shown, tell me which ones you like, which ones you're not so, and what your favorite guilty pleasure films are. But as always, this is GokuSunDBZ, signing out. Follow me on twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ as well as Google+, and I'll see you all next time here in YouTube land. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.